What's up, guys? Good morning, everybody. Except it's like late evening Sunday. I did nothing again today. Mama Badger worked on the website all day. She's really pushing because she wants to get it done, and she's going to be gone Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Her, Nerdy Badger, and some of Nerdy Badger's friends are going to MegaCon, I think it's called, in Orlando, which is like a comic book convention. Anyway, so they're doing that this next week. They've had it planned for months, and so she's trying to knock out as much as possible. Well, I will be here and still working, so I did not feel the need to work Saturday and Sunday, and I didn't get my parts for the black bike, so I didn't have a lot to do, and I decided, you know what, I'm going to work on playing some more video games. Anyway, I started, so way back when I had the PlayStation, I think I had the PlayStation 2 at this point. May have been the 1, but I think it was the 2. There was a game that came out in 2005 called God of War. As a matter of fact, it's still going on. Like it's a series. And I'm assuming that it's a storyline, just like a movie, right? And these video games are like movies. Like it tells you the story. The difference is you're playing in the movie versus just watching the movie. So I think that's pretty freaking cool. But anyway, I started this game that I remember beating back in 2005, but I don't remember the whole story, and I want to play the whole series. So I was like, what better way to start than start from the beginning and then go through the series? So I'm working on the God of War 1 right now, and then I'll go on up through the series. But that got me to thinking. I've been talking a lot in the last year about collecting things. Lots of people collect things, and I've struggled because I want to collect something. I just haven't found that thing to collect. So now I think I finally found that thing to collect, and that thing to collect for me is going to be video games. Not so much the new stuff, but the old stuff, the vintage stuff. What do they call it? Retro. The Nintendo stuff. The PlayStation 1, PlayStation 2, Super Nintendo, Sega Genesis, that era, the era that was out when I was a kid. It's pretty crazy. Last night, for the first time in, I can't even remember, Angie and I decided that after we ate dinner, we was going to sit down, find a movie, and we were going to watch the movie. Like, we sat on the couch together, no phones, no computers, no nothing, and we watched a movie. Just so happens it was the Super Mario Brothers movie, which, we grew up playing. And in the movie, they put all these little details of the games in the movie, which they did a really good job, in case you're wondering. But, that brought me back to remembering all the games and all the cool stuff that was there and how popular that Mario still is when it's 30 years old maybe? I don't know. You got to think God of War is going to be 20 next year. So yeah, the Nintendo stuff's going to be 30, 40 years old? I mean, that's crazy. And it's still popular. People still love Mario, Luigi, the whole 9 yards. But I kind of got off my subject here. My subject is collections. So what do you guys collect? I asked our Facebook groups and pages what they collected, and I got like a gamut of different things. One of the biggies was, I'm not going to put these in numerical order, but one of the big ones was poker chips. So people, if you're not familiar with poker chips, at all the Harley dealerships, they have their own specific poker chips, and then they have some that are like special edition poker chips, and people go to the dealerships and they collect these poker chips. I have a poker chip chandelier. For those of you that follow me, you've seen it, but hanging over my desk in my office was a chandelier. Well, in case you haven't figured it out yet, Mama Badger and myself are not chandelier people. It just doesn't fit our style. So I took all the crystals off the chandelier and I drilled holes in all of my poker chips and I hung them on the chandelier. And now I'm getting more poker chips, so I'm probably going to put an extension off the poker chips and make it hang like a chandelier. But I never really collected those. I had a bunch of people that had given me a bunch of them. And then when I go to a new dealership, I usually grab a poker chip. They're usually like, I don't know, anywhere from $2 to $5. And there's something that's really popular in the Harley-Davidson world to collect. Indian also has poker chips. I've got a few of those hanging. And then some of the content creators, moto vloggers, have their own poker chips. And I have some of those hanging on my chandelier as well. But that was a big one. A lot of people collect poker chips. Knives. Pocket knives were another big one that people collect. I wanted to start collecting knives. In fact, I bought a knife in the upper UP of Michigan to start my knife collection. It's a knife made out of a railroad spike. It was pretty cool, and I thought that'll be a really cool way to kick off my knife collection. But as I traveled through the country, and I was looking at these knives, and you're anywhere for a good knife, anywhere from $100 to $500, right? And then I'm like, what am I going to do with these knives? Am I going to display them in the house? I'm never going to use them, right? They're literally just going to be looked at. And as cool as they would look at, me looking at my knives hanging on the wall, just didn't do it for me, right? So as much as I like knives, I just feel like that wouldn't be anything that I would enjoy. I would enjoy buying them, but then I would look at them and be like, man, that's just wasted money sitting there. The other big one was shot glasses. So lots of people collect shot glasses from all over the country. Patches, pins, lapel pins, challenge coins. We had a challenge coin for both of our events, the World Record Poker Run and Route 66. But a lot of people collect challenge coins. Challenge coins are a lot like a poker chip, except they're metal. And there's a big story behind challenge coins. I'm not going to go into it tonight. You can look it up. Maybe I'll do a video on that. You guys want me to do a video on challenge coins? I can do that. Anyway, but there's all this different stuff that people collect. Pew-pews. Some people collect pew-pews, which is awesome. Some people collect motorcycles. I kind of collect Harley-Davidson Fat Boys, but if I had my way, I would collect every Fat Boy ever made, but I'm not going to have my way. But even with all the bikes, right? I'm gone all summer, and then in the winter, I ride red once in a while. So they don't get that great of use. That's why I thought with the video games, at least I can pull them out and play them, right? And that was my whole thinking behind that collection. But anyway, my question for you is, do you collect anything? And if so, what do you collect and why? What drove you to collect that? I'm curious because I've always thought collecting was really cool, like baseball cards, football cards. I got NASCAR collector's cards in there in a big tub when I was really into NASCAR. NASCAR diecast, I got a few of those left. I used to collect those. So, over the years, my collecting has changed. I'm curious, what do you guys collect and why? And we will see you tomorrow.